Did you know Mandy's a geek? Hi, so I'm going to be doing my comics whole review in two parts this week because I picked up 2 weeks worth, and it's still two quite big chunky piles. Um, so I'm going to review this pile today, and then most likely Monday or Tuesday, once I've read these, basically, I'll do the review for these. So this time there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8 titles in this one. 3 of them are Bat titles, and one is Batman Family title, and then another DC one, and the other 3 are surprisingly Marvel comics. So I'll start with Marvel first. First up is Deadpool Wolverine, issue 5 by Benjamin Percy and Joshua Cassara. So this is continuing the story that's been going on for 5 issues now. So it looks like it's going to be a 6-parter. So basically, Deadpool and Wolverine have been they've had some kind of implant put in the brains by, is it Strife? I'm crap with Marvel villains, unless it's ones from the 70s. But yeah, I think it's Strife. Anyway, the bald geezer. And they've been fighting zombies and stuff. The plot's irrelevant. It's just it's more just a fun action comic. The artwork is the selling point, and the dialogue's great by Benjamin Percy. Like as I've said many times now, he's my favourite Marvel writer of present. He's just so dependable. I don't know why I said that like a question mark, but he's dependable. But the artwork is just it's top notch. It's very very European in flavour, and yeah, it's just a fun comic. It's not highbrow at all, but it does everything that you want on a comic starring Deadpool and Wolverine. It's silly in places, but there's really good. What I like about Benjamin Percy, he doesn't like to get too silly. He doesn't like Deadpool take over the comic. The dialogue's quite grounded. I would give this a 7.5, 8 out of 10. I'm having a blast reading it. I think Sarah's on it for one more issue, then there's a filling artist for a few issues, and then I think he's coming back. Which I don't mind, because I mean, at least it's not what Marvel normally do, where they have a guest artist interrupting the flow of a story. But yeah, I do recommend checking this out. If you've not buying it, do get the trade paperback. So like I said, I'll give you about 7.5 out of 10. I want to be a bit stricter, because there's some titles that deserve higher points than that. Talking about, we'll keep it on the Benjamin Percy track, but this time the art's by Marcelo Ferreira. This is Predator vs. Spider-Man issue 2. This is very graphic for a Marvel comic, but it's not red band. So this red band's pointless. They don't need red band. It's silly. This is set. It feels like it's set in like the 90s, 80s period of Spider-Man. It's got a very Jim DeMatteis kind of flavour to how the Spider-Man's written, with that like nice horror element of the Kraven's Last Hunt. But it's basically Predator in this is more like a serial killer. So it's got this very almost like a Seven kind of vibe to it. I like how Benjamin Percy's given Peter a very distinctive voice, but not the normal type of voice what Peter has. He writes him more as not just somebody who's doing quips all the time. Um, he makes you feel something for him, which I think sometimes with Peter, some writers can make it very one-dimensional. He's just the one who goes flip, 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 and has a few punchlines. But he gives him a bit more of a heart, if that makes sense. And the artwork's really, really dynamic. It's great on the superhero stuff, but equally great on the grim and grisly stuff. And the Predator is very, very scary in this. I've not bought the other Predator crossover Marvel comics. Oh. Basic reason being, I like Spider-Man, and I want to see how Benjamin Percy would work with writing the character Spider-Man, because normally he does more the street level, almost like vigilante-esque kind of story, heroes. but he works perfectly. He writes very good Mary Jane as well, and there's a really good scene in here where Mary Jane's trapped on a subway with a predator, and the tension is really ratchets it up. You can feel the tension in the air. Yeah, it's a fantastic comic. 8.5 out of 10. I'm really sorry as well for sounding very nasally. I'm so full of hay fever today. Look, it's been so warm and hot, and I've been out for most of the afternoon, and I'm paying for it now. So next up, one sec. And we're back, but still very nasally. So next up, we have issue 4 of The Amazing Spider-Man by Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz, and colouring by Mart Gracia. This is the most fun I've had with a Spider-Man comic of an ongoing Spider-Man comic since J. Michael Straczynski's run, the initial run, what he did with John Romita Jr. The artwork is just phenomenal by Pepe Larraz and the colorist who I mentioned earlier, and the writing by Joe Kelly. So it's solid. It's very solid. I mean, he did fantastic work on the Justice League back in the 90s, early 2000s, I think it was. And yeah, he's a really good, solid writer. I didn't know how he'd work with Spider-Man, and he's got we've got the voice of Peter. It's a very interesting setup. So basically, Spider was just tripping out of his skull, so he doesn't know what's real and what's hallucinations. And it goes more into the villain as well. I forgot what her name is, and she's more monstrous than we initially thought. But it's like these trippy flashbacks as well. The artwork really conveys a lot of the unreality, and it's almost like, is Peter a reliable narrator in this because of the influence on the drugs? How much of this really happened, and how much of this is just heightened by this hallucinogenic drug? What is ingested by accident? And the Hobgoblin returns, and it's a cool as fuck Hobgoblin. Let me just find. So yeah, this is what I want in a Spider-Man comic. I love Spider-Man. I've loved him since I was a little kid, since about 5 or 6. I used to watch the old cartoons with Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. I'm not going to sing anymore because it's most likely copyrighted. Hey. So yeah, so really enjoyed it. And get this, I don't know how much, if it's sold out or not, the early issues, but it's a blast. It's really, really good. It's $4.99, but it's good. It's very good. I'm going to give this 9 out of 10. Then we move on to my DC pal. I'm going to save one particular comic for last, and you'll realise why when I get to it. First off, though, we have a gorgeous cover, Green Arrow 24 by Chris Condon and Montos on artwork. The art in this, it's just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Got a really nice style to his artwork. He's very good at just doing talking heads and then switching it up and doing action scenes. Whereas some artists, you can tell they favour doing like dynamic action scenes and they struggle on talking heads, or vice versa. But he's equally versatile in both, as is evidenced here. I mean, look at that coming through the window. So dynamic. And the writing by Chris Condon is top rate. I mean, I've been a fan of his since that Texas Blood. I sing the praises of that book all the time when I can. And yeah, this is grassroots Green Arrow. This is the social justice warrior version of Green Arrow. It's not the Green Arrow and his 5,000 members of his family. The family's still in there, but they've taken a back seat to the main plot points, which, yes, thank you God for that. And it wraps up this storyline of this town being devastated by this corporation, and they basically all take revenge on the corporation. It's a very satisfactory conclusion, and yeah, it's just a great mystery. Very satisfactory. 9 out of 10. And another great mystery. This is a story that was done in 2 issues. It kind of like paused the ongoing story, bigger story arc, what Dan Matters has started with Dexter Soy. And this is Dan Matters and Francisco Francavilla doing a 2-parter, playing up to the strengths of Francavilla's art style. So it's a nice noirish mystery, Maggie Sawyer's in it. The one thing I will complain about, though, I love Dan Wasser's writing, but there's some bits where his dialogue's a bit clunky with Maggie Sawyer. I don't know why. The rest of it flows really well, but when it comes to Maggie Sawyer, he seems to. I don't think he's got her voice very well. I don't know, but the rest of the story is really good. It's a good mystery of this mysterious vigilante who's targeting police officers. And at first you think, oh, is he targeting current ones? But then no, you find out he's not, and you find out why and who he is. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, the colouring, obviously, Francisco Francavilla colours his own artwork, and it adds such a depth to his art style, which you don't get from an artist who just does the inks. Oh yeah, it's very satisfactory tie up. Completely different in tone to the ongoing mystery. It's like a nice little breather for 2 issues. Wraps up nicely with a nice little bow on top. 9 out of 10. And then we're on to Detective Comics 1097 by Tom Taylor. The regular artist of Mikhail Janin's not on; he's just on the cover. But one artist I really love is Lee Garbett, and he's doing the artwork in this. He's very similar to Francis Monopole in his kind of art style. He's got that nice, almost like a brushwork style to his inking. And this builds up on the mystery that was set up in the previous, was it 6 issues? With that one who's that person, that mass vigilante who was hunting young offenders. It elaborates on the mystery, like with the Court of Owls when Scott Snyder did that one. It elaborated over issues. This is what Tom Taylor's doing with this. And there's kind of like this new kind of secret society. But this one is very Harvey. This one is focusing much more on Harvey Bullock, about a case that he investigated when he was younger, when he was like a rookie detective, and it has ties to this mysterious corporation who this vigilante was working for. And this is how you do detective comics. It's completely different tone to Ram V. It's not trying to be Ram V at all. It's pure detective, pure mystery, very pulpy, very noirish, and it's gorgeous. And I love Mikhail Janin, but if he ever does leave permanently, let Lee Garbett take over the book because he's an equally accomplished artist. And this was a really fine, great Batman comic, 9 out of 10. Another great, fine Batman comic is Batman and Robin Year One. This is issue 7, so there's unfortunately only 5 more issues to go. It finishes at issue 12. So Chris Samney and Mark Waid are the co-plotters. Mark Waid does the writing, and Chris Samney does the artwork, and the artwork is just gorgeous. I'd say Chris Samney is the next in line to the heir apparent to take the crown from Darwin Cook. He's kind of like carrying on that lineage of that really nice Alex Toff-like inking style. Each page is just a joy to read. And the writing by Mark Waid, he gets that fine balance of retro appeal with the modern Batman sensibility of plotting. He's got young Dick's voice perfectly suitable. I love how he's given. I love the energy he gives Dick. That's not really a good sentence, is it? But yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not going to justify what I said. Dick Grayson. But yeah, this is great. Again, it's building up on this ongoing mystery. I love how they bring elaborating on the origin of Clayface a lot in this. It's a great crime comic. It's fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to give it this 10 out of 10. Each issue is keeping on a steady upwards incline. There's never been a weak issue. I have a smile on my face when I start it. I have a smile on my face when I finish it. I had a smile on my face at the end of this one, but more of a smile of bewilderment. A smile of what the fuck are they on? Are they on magic mushrooms? Is this the same writer who's doing Batman the Last Halloween, which I love? This, of course, is Batman Hush Tour by Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee, and inks by Scott Williams, colours by Alex Sinclair. I like some of the art when he does his like washes over it, but there's moments of brilliance in the artwork. Let's talk about the artwork first. Moments of brilliance in the artwork, but then there's other bits where it feels very rushed on some pages. Like this feels more like his Wildcats kind of style to what he does nowadays. I don't know. I think there's a lot of shortcuts in the artwork because obviously Jim Lee's not done a monthly book in years. He does great covers, but I don't know if he's got the chops anymore for doing monthly books. Like I said, some pages really pop, but then other pages it's like I think when you've been spoiled a lot by a lot of the new artists, like who I've mentioned, Pepe Larraz, Dan Mora, um, Evan Cagle, um, Hayden Sherman, and so on and so on. He Jim Lee doesn't stand out as much as he used to. There's people who've been inspired by him, Dan Mora, for example, and they've kind of like taken his style and evolved it and evolved it and evolved it. There's a new elevated style of comic art now, and this feels very much art from 20 years ago. Maybe he's going for that, but anyway, that's the art. The art, it's good, but it's not great Jim Lee artwork. It's just good Jim Lee artwork, but the story. So Hush appears, Red Hood appears, um, Bane and Damien appear. Timelines all over the place. Um, Riddler's beefed up, fighting, words. There's words. There's words. Plenty of words. I haven't got a clue. I said this on my Threads page. This to me is the Showgirls of comics. This is, in a few years' time, this must be viewed as a weird oddity, as a camp classic, I guess. A curio. It's fucking. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. I just don't know what's going on. There's punching, there's fighting, there's Joker's being operated, Joker's not being operated, or Joker's being held around, so he's not being held around. So Riddler's Nightwing can't understand Riddler's riddles, even though he's worked with Batman for years and years. So surely he knows how to solve the Riddler's riddles. Um, it's just contradictions flying about. Bane working with Robin. It's and yet I want to know how this car crash ends. So I'm going to be carrying on and scratching my head, wondering what the fuck am I reading till the end the story finishes. But it's not a good comic. Not a good comic. It's a freak show that I want to see how it carries on with. Artwork, I would give, and I hate being harsh with Jim Lee because he's one of my personal heroes. It's 6 out of 10. The artwork is 6 out of 10. Jim Lee, you can do better, and you know you can. The story is what the fuck out of 10. That's all I can say. So that's it for this part of the um, haul. In a few days' time, I'll have read these and I'll give my thoughts on a few more DC, which is mostly Three Absolutes and New Gods, and then some indies. Okay, so bye. Bye.